The Baker and the Greedy Mouse. To do this fractions activity, you will need a pen or pencil, scissors, glue stick, and your 3 circles that we will be using to identify the symbols for half, 1/3, 2/3, 1/4, 3/4, and 1/8. We'll be identifying fractions of a shape in this lesson. So watch this video and then you'll be able to create your own story, perhaps about a baker and a greedy mouse, or you might choose your own characters. On Monday, the baker created this beautiful, delicious lime cake, and he got his knife and he cut it into quarters. So boys, to cut your cake into quarters, you need to fold it in half and make sure that it's lined up nicely here. Fold it in half and then fold it in half again. A fraction, there are 4 quarters here, and they're all the same. If they were different sizes, there would not be 4 quarters. The baker cut the cake into quarters. He left it on the bench overnight, and when he came back in the morning, a greedy mouse had taken 1/4 of the cake through his mouse hole in the wall, and he was nibbling on that piece of cake. So the mouse has got 1/4 of the cake, and there are 1, 2, 3 quarters left. 3 quarters are remaining. The number on top is called the numerator. The numerator. The number on the bottom is called the denominator. Denominator. Right. 3 quarters are left and 1/4 has gone. I could write 3 quarters plus 1/4 equals 1 whole cake. 3 quarters plus 1/4 equals 1 whole cake. And by gosh, the baker was shocked when he saw that he only had 3 quarters of his cake left. But he continued to bake another cake. On Tuesday, he created this delicious lemon cake out of lemons from his garden, and he decided that he was going to cut it into thirds. Thirds, Thirds, sounds like the number 3. 3 equal parts. Now, to fold your paper into thirds, it's a little bit tricky. First, what you need to do is you need to locate the middle somewhere. So you might need to, you can't just fold it. It's not as easy as quarters. Locate the middle of your circle and draw a straight line up. Now, you need to, it's almost like drawing a person. You need 2 legs coming down to create 3 segments. So I think my first one, I should have used a pencil, and hopefully at home you're using a pencil as well. So here's my one going up. I think what I'll do now is turn this and have this coming straight down. Now I'm going to cut this cake into thirds. The baker looked at his 3 thirds on the bench and he thought, I think I might like to share this with more people, more than just 3 people. What will happen if I cut each third in half? What would half of a third be? So the baker cut each one in half. Now what you will need to do is fold and cut. And I wonder what those pieces will be called. They won't be called halves. They won't be called thirds. Have a think about what those fractions will be called. Well, we need to count the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 sixths here. And what the baker did is he was quite forgetful. He put the 6 sixths on the bench, and then he went home. And you know what happened overnight? That cheeky rat came back and he took some of that cake back through his rat hole in the wall. Or was it a mouse? I'm not sure. Yes, I'm going to continue calling him a mouse. What fraction of the cake did he take? He took 2 sixths. 1, 2. These are both called sixths because there were 6 pieces in the whole cake. And the baker said, oh my gosh, I have only got 4 sixths of my cake left. He was so upset. 4 sixths left for the baker, 2 sixths stolen by that cheeky mouse. So 4 plus 2, you'll notice, equals 6. If we want to write an addition equation, 4 sixths plus 2 sixths equals 6 sixths. And we could just call that 1, because the 6 sixths altogether is 1 whole cake. Equals 1 whole cake. On Wednesday, the baker had another go. This time he made a red raspberry cake and he cut it into eighths. Eighths, I wonder if you know how many pieces that is. To make eighths, first you need to fold it in half. And look, here we've got 2 halves. And then you need to fold it and line up the folds. Then you are going to make quarters. Quarters is 4 pieces. And then you are going to fold diagonally to make 8 pieces. And then the baker cut his cake. The baker was very impressed with this cake, and you can see here there are 8 pieces to make the whole cake. So there are 8 eighths. This is the whole cake here equals 1 whole cake. And you know what our forgetful baker did? He left it on the bench overnight, and the mouse came back and took 2 of those pieces of cake. What fraction of the cake did he take? Well, these are all eighths. The baker cut the cake into eighths, and the mouse has taken 2 eighths of the cake. What fraction of the cake is left for the baker to share with his friends? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has only got 6 eighths to share with his friends. That silly baker needs to get rid of that mouse, or he needs to put the cake in the pantry or in the fridge or keep it in the oven so the rat doesn't get it. Your task now is to create a story similar to my one. You could change the animals in the story. You could change the baker to somebody else. But make sure when you're gluing it down, I want you to label your fraction parts. On each page, we've got 6 eighths plus 2 eighths. 6 eighths plus 2 eighths equals 1 whole cake. We've got 4 sixths plus 2 sixths. And over here we have got 3 quarters plus 1 quarter makes a whole. A question for you is, did the mouse eat more of this lemon cake, or did he eat more of this raspberry cake? He had 2 eighths of this cake, and he had 2 sixths of this cake. So I will let you think about that one. All right. Thank you for watching and enjoy making your fractions story.